All right, you guys, hey, it has been a while since we have talked on a video. Okay, we are talking chapter 6 today. We are starting our last chapter of the semester, and we are talking about polygons. And these are yes or no questions. I have a few words for you to fill in here. Did you know that we have a thing called a polygon? Maybe you've heard of the word before. But it is a figure that is closed, meaning not open. See how I circled no here? Figure, which means it has no gaps or spaces. Okay, that's thing number one. It has 3 or more straight sides, so all of the sides have to be straight. They have to be edges, which is why this one right here is no, because see that curve? That makes it not a polygon. It must have no curved sides. 2 edges meet at an endpoint or a corner called a vertex. You've heard the word vertex before. In a triangle, we had vertices or a vertex. It is a point where 2 edges come together. Here's another one, here's another one. They're the points. Those are called vertices, or singular is vertex. And thing number 4 is it has no overlapping sides. Like look at this thing right here, this X. See how they're overlapping right there? That is why this one is no. All right, so let me kind of go through a couple examples here, and you can circle yes or no, but I would suggest making a note to yourself here. These overlap. That is why this one is no. We have a curved side right here. And they're all supposed to be straight, flat edges. We have an opening right here. So it's not closed. A polygon has to be closed. These two, they meet all the rules. All the edges are flat, straight sides. There's nothing curved. It is closed. It has all of these points right here, which are called vertices, or these are individually, each one is called a vertex. Same thing here. None of them are curved. It is closed. Nothing is overlapping. So we have 2 yeses for those 2. Those are the good ones. Here, this Pac-Man looking thing, we have another curved edge right here. This side is curved, which is why I put no. Okay, so you have some reasons there why we have yeses or no's. So that's thing number 1, cool things about polygons, some rules that they have to follow. Now, I bet you've heard of most of these names before. I'll pause here for a second and I'll let you copy some of these words down. You already knew that something that had 3 sides was called a triangle. You already knew that. In fact, we've had several chapters explaining, all different cool things about triangles. Did you know something with 4 sides? It's not always a square or a rectangle. The more generic word that applies to all of the shapes that have 4 sides is called a quadrilateral. And in fact, the preface quad means 4. Your quadriceps, those of you that have sprinter's legs, your quads are made up of 4 muscles. Did you know that? Your thigh muscles, there's actually 4 muscles in there, which are called your quads. Anyway, fun fact. I'm sure you've heard of the Pentagon building in New York City, I think. Is it in New York? Washington, D.C.? I don't know. I teach math, not history. Okay. A pentagon, it could also look like a house. It is a shape that has 5 sides. Maybe you have heard of a hexagon before. The letter or the word 6, if you write it out, S-I-X, the X helps me remember that we have a hexagon. So 6, hex. 7 is called heptagon. That is one that might be a new word for you. And then I'm sure you've all seen a stop sign before. It's made up of 8 sides. That is called an octagon. So we are going to use some of these vocab words and name some of these shapes, okay? I'm going to count the edges. You got to count carefully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something that has 5 sides is called a pentagon. Nailed it. I'm going to write the name for it right here. So yeah, this one doesn't look like a house because some of the edges are bent in weird ways, but that's okay. It still has 5 sides, and you can see my little tick marks saying that I counted them all, and I counted 5 of them, which means that by vocabulary, it is called a pentagon. This thing's got 3 sides, 1, 2, 3. Therefore, it is a triangle. You remember how tri means 3? Did you know that? A tricycle has 3 wheels on it. Tri means 3. A triathlon, swim, bike, run. Tri, 3 things. All right, cool. This one is let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means pentagon again. Wow, I have 2 pentagons there. Cool. They look different, but they have 5 sides, so vocabulary-wise, they are called pentagons. Let's count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7-sided shape is called a heptagon, so I'm going to write that one down. Heptagon. And this last one, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. That does not make it a square. It definitely doesn't look like a square. The word that we use is quadrilateral. And anything that has 4 sides could look very different from other shapes that have 4 sides. This is called a quadrilateral. Quad means 4, lat means sides, done. Okay, last page. Did you know that in a 4-sided shape, so yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sides here. So this is a quadrilateral. Notice the vocab word that I'm using here, quadrilateral. Did you know that all of these angles, remember the difference between angles and sides that some of us struggled big time with for triangles chapter? All of the angles here, not the sides, but the angles, the degree measures, add up to 360. Do you remember that in a triangle they add up to 180? That's because there's only 3 angles there. Well, when you have 4 angles, they add up to 360. So write that down. All 4 of the angles, A, B, C, and D, that's A, B, C, and D, they all add up to 360. So how are we going to figure out what this angle measure is? Well, remember these boxes. This is 90, and this is 90. And I think I have 4 different angles. This is an angle, this is an angle, this one, and this one. I'm going to add them all together and equal them to 360. Not 180, that's for a triangle. This thing has 4 sides, so we're doing 360. 90, 90, X, and 70, and I'm going to add it up to 360. Make sure you got that because this has 4 sides. If you want to make a note to yourself, this has 4 sides, which is why we use 360. We also have 4 angles. It's 360. For a triangle, it's 180. Let's try and keep those straight. I'm going to combine my like terms. 90 and 90, it makes 180, and 70 makes 250. Plus X, how'd I get 250? I added 90 and 70. I'm just combining like terms. And then that equals 360 degrees. I'm going to subtract 250. And that gives me 110 equals X. There it is. You can write it on this line if you want to, 110 degrees. Excellent. Okay, let's not get confused here with a triangle. 1, 2, 3. When you have 3 sides, they're supposed to add up to 180. So I'm going to do 34, 81, and X equals 180. And that is because this one is a triangle. In a triangle, they add up to 180. In a quadrilateral with 4 sides, they add up to 360. All right, I'm going to combine these two. That gives me 115 plus X. How'd I get 115? I just added 34 and 81. And I've got X equals, when I subtract, 65 degrees. All right, I've got 2 left. I'll do this next one pretty quickly. This one has 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a quadrilateral, which means it's going to add up to 360. I'm going to add 72, 108, 108, and X. And when I combine all of these, oh boy, what do I get? 108, 72 is 180, and 108 is 288. Hopefully I did that math correct, and I get X equals 72 when you subtract 288. Yeah, 72. Wow, got it. 72 degrees. We're just adding, and make sure that you have 360 here because we have 4 angles. 4 angles, 4 sides, not a triangle. This last one is a triangle. X and 42, and remember that this thing is 90 right here. There are 3 angles here, 3 sides in a triangle. They're supposed to add up to 180. Make a note to yourself. For a triangle, it's 180. For 4 sides, it's 360. So I'm going to do 90 plus 42 plus X. That is this angle, and this angle, and I'm adding them all together. I'm going to combine these like terms. It gives me 132. And I'm going to subtract. And I believe that gives me X equals, what is it, 48? Nice. Okay. Love it. Thanks for watching, you guys. Let's get started on some homework, and let us know if you have questions. Love you all.